I feel like I'm going skiing with the sunglasses tucked underneath the hat. How do you like the hat? It's a special gift from the people I work for, that I do my day job for. So every once in a while we get some very nice swag. Not often, but yeah, my wife got this for me. It's very nice. It's very cozy, very comfortable. I've never worn it in the store, but because it's so cold these days, I was thinking, I believe is it 4 to 7 or 8% of all human body heat escapes through the head, and wearing a hat can really make you warmer. And of course, you know, if it's cold wind you're worried about, that protects your ears as well. So very nice, very nice. So speaking of the day job, there's a little bit of news that I have, and I wanted to summarize that kind of more for me as well as to you, and also to kind of ask you, what would you do? So if you've been watching me for a while on this channel, then you know that my day job is often an interesting point of discussion for me, that I'm thinking, should I quit and do my creative ventures full time? And of course that's a scary notion. And currently it's a really nice balance there between my creative life and my day job for a little bit of extra cash, and it certainly helps run the household and all. But they're planning something that'll be rolled out or put into practice on the 27th of January 2020, which is less than 2 months away. So that's why it's interesting to examine this now. And they sent us this email a few weeks ago that this change is going to affect, and it's going to affect pay. So currently we in-store shoppers, we work, at least in Florida, might be different in other regions, we work for $9 an hour. But that's not the money we get much more than that. So we also get a share of the service fee, delivery fee, tip, whatever it's called. We get 30% share of that, and depending on how much orders you put through, you get more money. So that's the reason why they're changing it, because those in-store shoppers who are not getting a lot of orders, they're not getting as much money as the people who get a lot of orders. So Instacart wanted to make it fair overall, I guess. That's the premise of it. And as a result, they're now changing things from like a base rate plus tips or plus percentage to a flat rate for everyone. So no matter how much you work, how many orders you put through, you get the same amount of money. So that'll make it fair for the people who've just joined. And that'll make it less fair for the people who've been with the company for over a year, like me. And especially it makes it unfairer for the people who do deliveries as well, because they're at the receiving end of cash tips sometimes, and it really is in their interest to put orders through fast and make more money that way. But at the same time, Instacart don't like the sound of that, because if you work fast, then it means you may not be putting an eye on quality as much as they perhaps would like you to do. And so that's another part of the reason why they've been looking into making a change there. And that change will go into effect on the 27th of January. So to cut a long story short, right now I've worked out the median average hourly rate that I'm currently getting, which I've never really worked out before. I had always assumed it's around $12. Not the case, actually. It's closer to between $15 and $16 an hour. So that is quite substantial considering the type of job it is, the type of job it is. But you know, I like it because there's a bit of cash at the end of the month. So it's somewhere between $15 and $16 an hour that I'm currently getting for that. So on this new rate, on the new flat rate, they want to introduce the same rate for everyone, with new shoppers starting at $11.25, and veteran shoppers, I think you get a 25-cent raise for every 500 hours you've been working. So by that logic, I would be on the 27th of January, I'd be working for $11.75 instead of close to $16. So that's actually much more substantial of a pay cut than I thought this was going to be. So that's difficult for me, because under those circumstances, should I really be, should I still keep working for them? Or is this the perfect opportunity to say, actually, that's not going to work for me anymore? It's already painful enough as it is to do this job. Not that I dislike it, but money certainly sweetens the blow. But now it's kind of more like a 15% pay cut that I'm looking at there. And that is, I mean, that is, you know, that's too much. I find there's something in me that says, yeah, I'm sorry, that's just too much. We could have talked about the fact that, you know, $1 or $2 pay cut maybe we can talk about, but it's like up close to about $4 less that I'm getting. I'm thinking that's not something I think I can do, you know. Can I sneak past it? Thank you. Sure. So yes, that's one change that they want to introduce, and that's definitely coming. And since it was my first day at work, I found out a couple of other changes that are happening. And the first one is that my wonderful store manager, so the store manager at Publix in that store, she's been promoted away. A wonderful woman, Katrina was her name, and she's now running some other store, I guess. And we always had a really good working relationship, and it makes a big difference with who's at the helm of a ship, really. So there's a change coming there. I don't know the new manager. It may not mean anything, may just run just as smoothly, but it also means there's some potential change, like an upset in the balance. So that's what I'm concerned about. If you have a nicely running system, what happens when you introduce change? And I guess change is just at the heart of so many things, but that's one thing that's happening. That's already happened. Another change that's happening, that may be happening, is that my direct superior, so my shift lead, she's kind of got her eye on another job. So if she gets the promotion, that means she won't be running our team anymore, our direct team of shoppers there. And that would be a shame, because she's a very motivational woman, Kat, and she posts a lot of inspirational messages, and she's got this wonderful energy about her that I really don't want to miss. And this, partly all these things make up the reason why I actually like going to work, you know. A little bit of cash, a good working relationship, positive energy, and all that. And it also, there's an exercise component in there. But if you keep taking these things away, then I have to wonder what's left for me. Why would I actually go to work there? Then it's just there are more parts to this job than are in the job description, and there's just so much change that I'm thinking, in front of the background of the wonderful thing that's developing for me there on YouTube, and with the whole community that we've got going, and with all these other creative projects that are in the pipeline, 3D scrutiny, creative minds, 3D tutorials, 3D streams, game streams, and all that. That is just something, if only that would make enough money, I could quit my job immediately. So, you know, so now I'm thinking, had all these changes in my day job not been almost put in place for me here by the universe to rethink my current situation, it feels almost, I can't help but feel as if this is some kind of an ultimate test. Like, I've been at this crossroads so many times that, hey, you can do nothing and leave everything exactly as it is right now. As a result, nothing much will change, even though things will change, but fundamentally perhaps it is really time to say, hey, maybe I should ditch the day job, and now that I've used it for what it was good for me, namely checking out how fit I was and reintegrating me into this life, perhaps I'm now back at a point where I should be thinking, take all these other creative visions seriously and focus on those and do those full time and see what comes of it. But at the same time, you know, let me play devil's advocate here. At the same time, it also means I've tried that many times. It's just I'm just not a businessman, sadly. I just don't I don't think I'm capable of raking in enough cash to pay for an apartment and a bit of travel so that I can, you know, interview people, whatever it is. You know, I have never pressured my creativity to make me a substantial living. I never tried it. As a result, it's never happened, which is a shame. I would of course love for this to somehow be possible, and I feel this inner calling that these creative things are more important to divest time into rather than to flee into a day job. Even though the day job has creative opportunities, you know, I mentioned the health and fitness aspect there. That's definitely a pro. It also allows me to be in touch with a lot of the local community, so there's a lot of social contacts there that I'm getting. So you meet interesting people at the supermarket, no doubt about that, but it's also something that, you know, costs me a lot of time. I mean, I've also known that in the times where I could be more productive at home on my days off, sometimes I just can't be productive, you know, creatively productive. So those are the moments where I actually do like having a day job, because I know, hey, today is just not the day to pull off anything creative. So today is a day for mundane tasks, and that's what this job's kind of good for. So in summary, then, it's a bit of a, yeah, it's an interesting thing that's developing there, and obviously I don't have to make a decision right away, but I've spoken to some of my colleagues, and the word on the street really is that many are thinking of quitting in January for the reason that it's just too much of a pay cut to take lying down. I mean, especially for people who are new, who've just joined the company, for them the pay cut is even bigger. And it's not really what they've signed up for not so long ago. For veteran people who've been there for a while, their pay cut is potentially substantial. I mean, I'm not a high earner in the company, not at all, but I know that some of the full service people, they can work as much as they like, and some of them just put in the hours. And many of the really good guys, they've already moved on like a year ago, because for them the golden era was already over. Yeah, so it's an interesting development. Many people are thinking of leaving, and there's definitely a substantial change, and I don't know how good that's going to be for the company, but it's also not something I should be thinking about, and in fact I don't think about that. I'm literally just thinking about what does this mean for me, and is perhaps the 27th of January the perfect opportunity to declare this to be the full-time affair in my life. Just another thing I thought about that's positive, the casual bike videos, you know, the casual chats we can have this way. I'd have to make a conscious effort to do that, not a problem, but, you know, going to work is kind of a good way to use the time, to utilize the time for something, you know, keep the dialogue going. I don't know, so that's what's in my head right now, and 27th of January isn't so far away. Yes, let me give it some thought, and please let me know your thoughts, and what would you do in my situation? Would you stay, eke it out and just see what it's like, not make an immediate change, just keep everything as it is and see how things are progressing and how things are developing? Or would you say, hey, actually that's a perfect opportunity to, say, ditch the day job and do this thing full time with all the effort and all the strength that you have, and put everything on that one horse and hope to turn it into cash. By the way, if you have any ideas on how to turn this into cash, do let me know, because I think that's the area that I'm kind of struggling in, to turn this into a full-time job that makes a substantial enough income. Like, we're talking substantial enough as in probably 10-20 times more than it currently makes, and that's not something that is easily achievable, at least not in my head, but it is possibly really easy. I just don't know how to do it. So yes, let me know what you would do, let me know what you think, let me know options, let's discuss.